Well, one of the things that was brought up was that when she did the role for Benjamin Button, where she played a supporting actress there was a $150 million budget, and she asked for $500,000 for this film, and they turned her down, and they would only give her $150,000, which is 0.1% of the total budget. Now, she did get nominated for an Oscar in that role, which I'm sure, brought her to the next level in terms of her roles. After that, she was also starring in that was probably her biggest film, I think, at the time that she's ever been in.
Probably.
And Brad Pitt was a total dominant A-list guy, with other big A-list actors in it and so forth. She ultimately took it, but a lot of people are upset saying that was way too low. Now, from your point of view, you understand how Hollywood works. Is $150,000 for her role, is that considered just egregiously low, or is that like, okay, it's relatively fair?
It is. See, what she did, she showed and proved, right? I mean, if that were someone else, they probably wouldn't have gotten an Oscar nomination. That's, it's not like it's going to be Oscar nominated from the beginning.
True.
She pulled into a performance that seems like, okay, now if it was done by someone else, then maybe, it's about $150,000 role, right? She turned it into a $500,000 performance.
Yeah.
But see, that's one of those things that, it puts you into that next realm. I just personally would choose to think of it in those terms, because of course, hindsight being 2020. Now, you improved upon what the role was written as, right? Because of your talent. You don't get paid, subsequently for that.
Right.
Somebody could have just turned in an average role and we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Yeah.
Right? So going forward, people should put respect on her name because that's what she did. If they really had some class, they should have cut her a check for about $350,000 after she got nominated.
Right,
personally,
but this is, and I understand what you're saying, but you got to understand that this is coming from a business side, and I understand that most people listening to this are fans. They're just fans. They've never been involved in financing a business. They don't have their own business. But when it comes to business, here's sort of the problem with what you're talking about. Because I've had people approach me, oh, look, this interview did well. You owe me extra or whatever else. But the reality of business is this. When someone works on a project with you, you agree to a fee, you pay them. The project does well, better than expected. A lot of people feel, well, you should have paid me extra after the fact. But I've never heard anyone say, hey, I worked on this project with you and it flopped. Let me give you some of that money back.
True.
No, that's on you.
True, but
it's not my fault. I did my job.
Let's be careful. This is my argument. It's not hers.
Yeah.
She's never asked to be paid after the fact for Benjamin Button.
No, I get it.
All right. No, she was right about, this was very low.
Right. Well, and I remember I read about this. She was trying to negotiate. She was like, she asked for $500. The producers ultimately said, this is our budget. Take it or leave it. She took it.
That's absolutely normal. That's what happens all the time. That's a Terrence Howard situation with Hustle and Flow. This is what we got.
Yeah.
And then he made something of it, and then, he's
upset after the fact.
Yeah. So what it is, like I said, that would be classy for them to go, you know what? You were right.
Right.
You turned this in this performance. Boom. Here you go. Here's a bonus. You put us on. You turned in a performance that's an Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah.
And you did that for us, and you did that for this little money. That would have been cool. Yeah. That would have been some class. But again, that's my argument. That's not Taraji's argument. So, as far as that is concerned, you look at The Color Purple right now. Well, it's not make the money that was hoped for.
Well, I actually have the numbers.
That would have been the situation. That would have been a situation where you're talking about was saying, oh, okay, give back the money. That, like, would you give back the money? Which is, still ridiculous. But that's not the argument.
Well, is it ridiculous? Why is giving back the money ridiculous, but paying someone extra not ridiculous?
No, I get
it's ridiculous both ways.
But the thing is, remember, she's not asking to be paid. No,
I understand that. No, we're just saying, like, we're bringing up hypothetical situations.
I'm bringing up a hypothetical for afterwards, right? Let's be clear that this is not her argument afterwards. Now, if there was, then there would be license to say, okay, if you want us to pay you afterwards, well, pay us back afterwards if it flops.
Right, because in The Color Purple, it's a $100 million budget,
right?
And so far, it's made $60 million at the box office.
Right. But that's
for all intents and purposes. For what it's looking like, this is probably going to be a money-losing project.
It will be,
right?
It will be, yeah. But that, again, that's not the argument.
Yeah,
that's not that would be an argument if it was talking about getting paid subsequently.